So you gave me a homework assignment, right?
I did.
I want to give everybody else the same homework assignment. DallasCowboys.com does training camp live. And look, man, shouts out to training camp. I ain't been watching it like I was supposed to be watching it because, whatever. But this last episode of Training Camp Live, Bryan informed me that we should give it a watch because there's a lot of Cowboy fans that just thought the Rams just showed up and whooped Dallas all day at camp. But apparently not. So what we're going to do is I'm going to watch it tonight. I want y'all to go watch Training Camp Live too. And we're going to come back here tomorrow with Aisha Morrison. We're going to come back here tomorrow and we're going to recap this alternate view that we had. Because, Bryan, sometimes what's really tough about this is all we have is, small clips. All we have is the real tight angle on the NFL Network. You know what I mean? And we don't really have all the 22, of views and all that. You know what I mean? So it could be a little tough on us,
Yeah, no, I think that if folks had the chance to look at that, and a shout out to that's another one of those projects that I'm super proud of that I was involved with when we got it started. Kent Garrison, myself, and then taking all the writers from DallasCowboys.com and working everybody through the group. It was really it was really really good until Sean Payton called us out for showing too much, and then it got taken away from us. But still, yeah. 2-minute drill, Cowboys first offense, first Rams first defense. 2 timeouts, have to get the ball inside the 30. Mission accomplished. It might have been a bad day for some of the things that they were doing, but that wasn't a bad day. When they had to have it, when they had to move the football, and maybe this team is going to be a much better throwing the football team than running the football team. But yeah, this will be something I think that everybody needs to take a look at. I'm looking forward to getting diving in with you and Aisha tomorrow about it. But I think it could paint a little bit of a different story that the practice wasn't completely doom and gloom.
Would it be encouraging to you if we came out in this first preseason game versus the Rams, right? If we came out in this game and the Cowboys looked like they're running the ball really well, like at all levels, like whatever team was out there, the mixture of the first team guys, second, third team, if they just had a good day running the football, like if Maffa, Jadon Blue all look, adequate. Hunter Lippy's probably gonna get some running. I don't know if the old running backs are or the older backs are, but would you just be encouraged in general if they just went out there and just looked decent running the football?
No, I think to me that in talking to some people, I think there's some veteran guys that are going to play. I think there's going to be some veteran guys to play. Now, I did not get the complete list of who all was going to play. I'm sure that on Friday, we'll probably get an idea of that from Coach Schottenheimer with his media availability. But I was talking to some people in the organization situation where they got into guys, some veteran guys getting some work in this thing.
Yeah. Who do you think those guys are? I know, some units you obviously can't go all young guys, right? So I imagine like some offensive linemen going to be out there. Maybe not big Tyler Smith, but BB and Booker probably going to be involved in there. Bryan Broaddus probably got a phone call. That's okay. I'll keep on talking. BB and Book probably going to be involved. Most of your D linemen probably going to be involved. Maybe guys like not named Oso Digizu or something like that. Maybe all your linebackers are probably going to go, and that's the veteran stuff that Bryan was probably alluding to, because all your linebackers are pretty much veterans. Like Damone Clark, he may be like I don't want to call him a journeyman young guy, but like he's like a younger dude to us or whatever, right? But he's a veteran in the league now. Damone Clark like 3-4 years in. Let me bring Bryan Broaddus back up here. Yeah, got a phone call,
sir.
Got a phone call, bro.
Been a morning.
Hey, Ryan, listen. I got you. I'm a content creator, bro. Pick your head up. I got you. I got you, Brad. Look, the bright side. The bright side is you look great over there, Brad. It's well lit.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
What I was saying, Brad, is the veterans that are likely to play is likely going to be a combination of your older offensive line guys,
sure,
some of your D line guys, and
Mhm.
mostly your linebacker guys. You know what I mean? I imagine every single cornerback you have is gonna line up there and do something. Uh,
Sure.
even Bland. You know what I mean? Bland
Mhm.
probably still need to get his feet up under him a little bit. You know what I mean? But
Mhm.
what you think, Brad? Which one of them veterans you think will get some time up in that?
Yeah, I think you've got the right combination. I think that the offensive line clearly needs some work. I think that Maffa, Blue, uh, they could surely use some work. I don't know. I think you're right about the veteran guys. I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe saw Williams start this thing out
Mm,
and then pass it along. All the defensive players need work
yeah,
when it comes to. I mean, if you played this game, you would probably say, well, Micah Parsons probably, wouldn't if he was available, he probably wouldn't play. But and maybe Tyler Smith might not play in this game,
yeah,
just because they did not use him as much in the joint practices. So I will say that we'll get a pretty good mix of guys. I don't necessarily know if Dak's going to play,
mm,
but I was encouraged. I was encouraged by my guys saying, "Listen, there's some that are going to play, and but with how bad is Joe Milton? How bad is he banged up?
mm,
I mean, it's just we'll see. We'll see at practice today if what his situation is. Tomorrow would be like a kind of a walkthrough light day getting ready for the scrimmage.
mm,
I don't anticipate them doing much with that, but with Joe, I need to circle back and see how bad Joe's hand is. He evidently banged it on someone's helmet
yeah,
and then he sat out. Then it was Will Greer. Matter of fact, in the final 2-minute drill, Will Greer running with the twos throws an interception,
yeah.
so but yeah, I do anticipate you're going to see some veteran players get some work, and it might be more of an extensive work than what we've seen from the previous administration when it came to this football team.
Yeah, Brian. I was just gonna ask you. How much do you think Greer plays? You know what I mean? Because in
Yeah.
my mind, if Milton is healthy, I think they're trying to develop the hell out of him because of course they traded for him and they brought him in and he's gonna be here a little longer than Will anyway. But I'm thinking like, man, how do you break that down? Like, does Joe, if your last name was Schottenheimer, your first name was Coach, right? How many if Milton is healthy, how many quarters do you give him? Because in my mind, I'm trying to get him as ready as I could possibly get him because he's still making a lot of mistakes on the fly. So if it's me, I'm trying to give Joe Milton like 3 quarters. You know what I mean? Three and a half if
Yeah,
I
Joe
can.
Milton. The next two games, I would like to see Dak play.
Yeah.
I would like to at some point. He's not going to play in the third game. Could he play in the second game? We'll see. I'd love to. If my name was Schottenheimer, I'd probably put him out there.
Mm,
I'd probably put him out there and let him get some work. But I, my gut feeling is it's 3/4 Joe Milton. It's 1/4 of Will Greer. And in the last game, my gut feeling would be 4/4 of Will Greer. It would be my gut feeling in that one.
mm. Um. So we have young guys, right? That we
Hmm.
and so the young guys are probably going to play a whole bunch. But
Yeah.
there are some young guys that we need in the regular season, Brian. So let me ask you
Hmm.
this. How much do you want to see from like Donovan Ezraku? Like if Donovan Ezraku goes out there and gets like 2 sacks immediately, do you pull
Yeah.
him out expeditiously? Like, all right, I've seen enough from Donovan Ezraku and we're gonna put you with the veteran cast because we need you. Or like do you keep playing him just because he's a young guy, he needs reps or whatnot, right?
Well, you picked the one guy that probably has the most questions about him when it comes to would you play him or not play him.
Sure.
And just because of Micah Parsons.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the only reason. That's the only reason. If Micah Parsons was in camp, Donovan Ezraku needs to take as many snaps as he can get. With Micah being out, this might be your primary pass rusher. We do not know Micah's situation.
Yeah.
We really, really don't. And we don't know if it's going to get resolved anytime soon.
Mhm,
So if that's the case, then I have to think that Donovan Ezraku is one of my better pass rushers,
mhm.
and I need to be mindful of putting him out there and then all of a sudden having him run to the quarterback in the knee buckle or something like that. And then, you lose him for an extended period of time. So I would be very, very careful with that one. if it was me.
Actually, Brian, I got a good one for you. That's just something just popped up in my mind because I'm Voch, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? Yesterday, Brian Schottenheimer was talking. It might have been the day before. It was likely yesterday, right? He was just talking, and he answered one of your concerns that you had a couple of weeks ago. Me and you were talking. He was like, "Damn, boy, it sure does seem like we just kind of dinking and dunking a lot. Like we ain't really going downfield a whole bunch. You know, like you had that. You know, you had that concern." And Shotty was like, "Yeah, man. You know, we practice these plays. We work on these plays. Later on, we may work on some other stuff when people are not looking, because Vic Fangio got guys looking, you know what I mean? So we working on stuff over here, but y'all may see a very stripped down vanilla version of it." And, you know, it made me think about what you said, right? Because Dak is kind of not challenging down the field a whole bunch. He'll do it sometimes. He'll hit Pickens down there, you know, Turpin. He'll hit Lamb, but not a whole bunch. Brian, when you heard Shotty say that, assuming that you heard him say that, did that kind of make you feel a little better, Brian?
Oh no, I mean, I just kind of wondered. I just wondered about the offense because we've talked about the hitch and the hooks and
Sure.
stuff like that, and you kind of wondered. I do feel like this. I feel like that George Pickens is a better than down the field player.
Yeah.
I think that George Pickens. So to me, I could understand with Dak, I could understand their quick game. Their quick game might be a way of not having to run the football. It might be just put the ball in Pickens' hands, put the ball in Lamb's hands, put the ball in Turpin's hands, and let them run. That might be what this thing. If they can't run, if they don't have success running the football, that quick game. I mean, I was talking to people about the scrimmage, and they said their quick game is what got them into some better stuff. So I can understand working on the underneath stuff. I get it. And Dak, you know, when he takes some shots, that's good. I just feel like that though they're trying to kind of they talk about installation, and I think this is part of the installation. I think the underneath game is part of what they're trying to say. Okay, if we can't do this, we surely can do that. And I think that's why I just wanted to see the ball go down the field a little bit more. And towards the end of my time there in camp, there were Joe Milton will throw the ball down the field. Joe Milton will also run around when somebody's open. You know, Joe Milton needs to throw the ball when guys are open. He just doesn't always see it well. And now he takes off running and stuff like that. But no, it's not surprising. But like I said, they got to their quick game. They got to their quick game in order to kind of help them maybe generate a little offense that they weren't getting running the ball the other day.
Who's a guy that has to have a really good preseason game, Brian? That'll just erase all the woes of the weird camp that you've been having. And look, don't say Mozzie because that's easy. And if you want, you know, okay, please go ahead. What you got?
Pick a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Pick a wide receiver. Pick
Tolbert.
any one of those guys.
Tolbert,
Yeah, pick Tolbert, pick Mingo, pick any one of those wide receivers. This thing to me is three guys, and now let's figure out if there's going to be three more or two more. That's what it's come down to.
Lamb, Pickens, and Turpin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody else is trying to kind of find their fit, and whether you're the four, and I'm just saying that it. I'm not trying to come out and say that Turpin is the three immediately. I'm just telling you he is he is one of their guys.
Yeah.
So it's Lamb, it's Pickens, it's Turpin, and now who else is going to be on that list? Whether we keep six or whether we keep five.
Yeah.
If they keep five, man, now you're really talking about some, Holden, Flournoy, Mingo, Brooks. I kind of feel like that's the list of guys. I'm not going to sit here and act like that Josh Kelly and Cropper and other, those guys are involved. I don't feel that way at all right now. I just feel like it's come down to Holden, it's come down to Flournoy, Mingo, and Brooks. Those are the guys that they're battling for spots right now.
People have been raving about your linebacker from LSU there, Bryan Broaddus, Damone Clark. And it seems to be that he's turning all of his fortunes around, and is really
Sure.
clicking with Flus and all that. And Brian, it's always been a thought of mine that he's one of your most athletic linebackers. Damone Clark can run. If he could do anything, he can run, Brian. It was always the mental stuff, you know? So you would imagine that if a linebacker whisperer like Matt Eberflus shows up and makes the job a little easy and maybe, you know, give him a little bit of clarity on some of his job responsibility, you would imagine that Clark plays a little better. There have been reports from our beat writer friends that Damone Clark's playing a little better, Brian. What if he goes out there and has a ridiculous, stupid-looking preseason game? Does that erase some of the past couple of years that we've been, you know, kind of thinking about him?
Yeah, I think to me that I called him a crossroads player when you and I were talking about him. I felt like that him, Mozzie, Schoonmaker, maybe Izzy McQuamu, there's some crossroads players on this team that they could either go the direction of trying to make this team and be that type of a player, or they could just go and get cut. They could go and be on the Tennessee Titans or some other team this year. Not be a Dallas Cowboy. I think that Clark did not show awareness. He did not show the ability to read. He couldn't read quick. There was a lot of issues with his game. Everything you said about him physically is absolutely dead on correct. But the mental side of the game has been really, really, really tough for him. And maybe that Matt Eberflus, this coaching staff has kind of figured something out for him, that they've unlocked something, because he is playing at a much higher level. You're absolutely right. People that I talked to at camp during the practice, the joint practice, were saying Maris Leofau, Damone Clark. Those were the two linebacker names that were brought up to me. And if you look on the depth chart, the unofficial depth chart, it's got Leofau and Clark as and like an or, either one or. And I think that says something about Damone Clark, because I did not see him as being a guy that was on the same page with Maris Leofau.
Sure.
In this. I felt like this was you're either going to go to the right or you're going to go to the left. And he is working his way back to the left-hand side. And I want to give him and the coaching staff some credit. But Zach Wolchuk, my partner on 105.3 The Fan, has brought this up to me. He says, listen, we've seen this from Damone Clark. We've seen good training camp practices and stuff like that. You get in the games and he completely loses. And I'm like, well, I'm just telling you, for a guy that I was probably saying out the door, he's put himself back in the picture.
I don't know if I've seen a whole bunch of good practices from Damone Clark, so I would just, shut my mouth on that. But Brian, I got one more name for you that I think is going to be a fascinating film watch for us, and you just kind of tell me what you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jay Toia is going to make the team, Broaddus.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to get weird for the other cat. I'm just going to let it all play out by itself. I'm not going to beat the kid down. I'm just going to let it all play out.
Oh no, he's gone. He's not been as good as he's needed to be. He just hadn't. And we're talking Mozzie Smith. Hasn't been as good.
I think Solomon Thomas and Perion Winfrey are in the door. I think that. And when you listen to Eberflus talk, he did come back to I need size in the middle.
Yeah.
He did eventually come back to that. I think what makes Solomon and Perion kind of interesting is that they are really B-gap guys. So they can play three as well. So they don't really count against your one tech math like that, right, Brian? But I want to watch Jay Toia. I want to watch him. Yeah. I want to hyper focus on him. I want to see, can he take on double teams? I really want to see him play the whole game, but in a way that he will play it in the regular season, right? Like, he don't need to get 60 plays, Brian. But give him like 20 on and off like it'll be in a regular game in rundowns. And I just want to see him all game just get conditioned of being double teamed all day, just to kind of see where he's at with it and see if we can kind of trust him a little bit. And if Jay Toia whoops up on their third team, he wins against the second team, but he's solid against the first team, it's really Jay Toia versus Mozzie for me. And if Jay Toia can come in and be close, we always talk about closeness, right? If Jay Toia is close to Mozzie, I think that's bad for Mozzie. because Mozzie's a year 3 guy. He's a veteran, and we already looking at you like you on your way out anyway, because this ain't your administration. Jay Toia was drafted by this group of guys, and he's got a lot more years on his contract. You know what I mean? A lot of youth behind him, a lot of upside behind him. I think if it's close, I think the rookie's gonna edge out the
I
3-year
think you
Mozzie.
need to keep an eye on King Basote. I
Okay,
think
sure.
that's another one.
Mm.
That's another one that, because I didn't get the most positive report from JT
Mm-hmm.
from the joint practices,
Sure.
but I've seen practices where he has been good.
Yeah.
I've seen practices where he's been active. I've seen practices where he's been. They've used him on twist stunts. I've seen him. I'm not going to sit there and act like that he just makes play after play after play.
Mm-hmm.
He's made more plays than Mozzie has. That's just a fact. And unfortunately, the Cowboys, they missed on Mozzie Smith. They just have. And here I am on August 7th saying that when we have preseason games left,
Yeah.
or 3 preseason games, but I haven't seen it for a guy that needed a really good training camp. It hasn't been there. But I would keep an eye on the 2 rookies.
Mm-hmm.
And this might be a deal where Will McClay has to go out and get a defensive tackle if that's the case, or
Brian,
look at the waiver wire, or look at the trade deadline, or not the trade, but when you're training camp, you
yeah.
trade bodies for bodies, kind of a thing.
Whenever you get a second, Brian, go listen to Coach White Cotton. He just had an interview come out yesterday, and he was talking about the joint practice that happened yesterday, 2 days ago, and he did mention Jay Toia. He said, "Yeah,
Yeah.
man, Jay Toia had a couple bad plays, and he kind of beat himself up
Yeah.
about it, but he went back out there and he made like 3 or 4 plays in a row, right?"
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I
Yeah.
didn't get it. I mean, we didn't get a chance to see it all the way. You know what I mean?
See, that's the problem. Like
yeah.
I said, yeah, you're right. I mean, that's the thing. And
Yeah.
I wish we'd have seen him. I know, talking to people, like, it was a little rough for him. And I'm like, okay, but were there any other plays? See, that's the disadvantage that we have.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where I used to be able to go watch the tape and tell you, well, no, that wasn't that bad. No, it wasn't, or oh no, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
He's a young guy, and I'm going to say this: I like what you're talking about, because I'm willing to see how he
Yeah.
plays. I'm really willing to see how he plays, because he's in a situation where, to me, they're going to need him. They're going to need him to make some plays, and I'm fully expecting that he will.
As far as Tommy King Basote, I think
Mhm.
what makes him different from Mozzie is that he's a rookie, and he just got here. So
He hasn't disappointed us yet. Is that what you're
right.
saying? Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
yeah. So if anything, Tommy's a perfect candidate for. Oh no, Tommy, your pinky toe hurt. We got to put you on season-ending IR and see
Yeah.
what happens next year. He's a perfect candidate for that, because the same thing happened to Nate Thomas last year. They didn't
Yeah.
need Nate Thomas, and Nate got a little hurt. Hey man, just sit the whole thing out. Draft
Right.
pick. Just sit and just come back.
Yeah.
Mozzie, next year they gonna be having conversation about 5th-year option, and look, they gonna decline it if he even makes it or whatever. Because that just makes sense. Like, they declined Byron Jones' 5th-year option. Mozzie don't stand a chance, Brian.
No.
But
No.
just these young guys got a lot more years left in them than I think Mozzie does. And I ain't trying to beat down the player, but they got a lot more time left in him, I think.
It is a position that it's a position that has been some pleasant surprises to me.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle, with Solomon Thomas, and then also with Winfrey.
Yeah.
That's been a pleasant surprise. Should have expected that things probably weren't going to work out great for Mozzie.
Sure.
Had hope, was hopeful for JT. We'll see if that plays out. I like the fact that Coach White Cotton was talking about that. Hey, got himself in trouble, kind of bounced back. That'll be the great thing, because Sunday morning we're going to get some film in our box that's going to show, like, it's going to be preseason football, but it's going to be football for us to evaluate, and that part, I think, is going to be that'll tell. And then, hey, do you build on that game, or do you have to scramble back? You have to scramble back and try and get back into good graces again, because you're running out of days.
Yeah.
You really are running out of days.
Brian, you ain't gonna like this, but
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of our show,
Mm-hmm.
your picture's coming in perfect now. It's coming in beautifully now, perfect, pristine, and
Yeah.
you'll see it on the video when you watch it back or whatever. But it's beautiful now. It's lovely. It wasn't bad throughout the situation, but it's perfect right
It's funny because, like I said, it like I told you earlier, man,
now.
this internet situation,
Yeah, yeah,
I
man.
don't know what it really is,
Yeah,
but like it's the first time it's kind of had a little of a hiccup for me.
it's all right.
So hopefully I'm not doing a show from this place and it hiccups.
It
I
ain't
don't
gonna
need
happen
that.
during the season, bro. It'll never happen during. We working all that out right now, so it don't happen during the season. Maybe it's just the weather or something, bro. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Bryan Broaddus, I appreciate you, man. It's always good
Thank you,
to
man.
chop it up and talk to you. And if it does get bad, we always gonna be recording and we'll just post it later. How about that, Bryan Broaddus?
Sounds
Because we
good.
because we
I
because
like what
we
you're
in
saying.
studio, we gonna be in studio, so it ain't gonna matter as much. You feel
I
me?
like it. I like that. I like what you're doing there. But I like I say, I write a big check, so this thing is pristine. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I write a big check to do this. Okay.
Bryan loves saying that. Bryan loves saying. I appreciate you, Bryan. Bro, I want you to have a
Thank you,
great
man.
day, man.
Thank
Have
you,
a
man.
go over there in our break room and have a snack or something, Bryan. Bro, go ahead and make us some
No,
coffee in our
man,
break
I'm
room.
all good. I gotta do a show from Jake's Hamburgers in Saxe, Texas today. Jake's Hamburgers
How far is
is what
that
it's.
drive?
It's like I learned it's above Garland is where it
Uh,
is, so it's not bad. Not a
Yeah,
bad
I ain't
drive.
never even heard of that. Anyway, we appreciate y'all for tapping in with us, man. We love y'all to pieces. If you want your salt and pepper
Yeah.
with my round ice cubes in there, Bryan, bro, because I'm fancy just like you. If y'all want some salt and pepper lounge drinkware, the link is in the
Uh,
description. It's the first link in the description. You can't miss it. And please follow VOCHLOMBARDIBRY in Broaddus. We'll be giving y'all updates on Crown Global as they come. And we love y'all to peace. Thank you so much. Y'all hold it down till tomorrow, man. We'll have Aisha Morrison on and we'll talk some more camp and preseason. All right? Crown.